Day.
And I'm Richard Day.
We're both chiropractors.
We've been in practice together for 11 years.
Married for 10.
With 3 beautiful little girls.
We know it's possible to have an exceptional practice that's built around your life.
Because we've done it.
So we've created this podcast,
the Lifestyle Practice Builders Podcast.
We'll interview chiropractors, answer questions, and bring you resources to help build and grow your practice.
So let's get this party started.
Welcome back to Lifestyle Practice Builders Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Haley Day, and today's bonus burst episode is about the daily big 3. And this comes from Michael Hyatt and the Focus Planner. If you're familiar with those, he's kind of a efficiency, goal-reaching expert. And I actually have been doing this prior to knowing anything about Michael Hyatt, but I listened to a podcast with his daughter on it. Actually, I've known of Michael Hyatt a long time, but I was listening to a podcast with his daughter that works in the company with him, and they were talking about the daily big 3. And I thought this is a great thing to share with our audience. And it's really been a foundational element to moving the needle forward in our practice and with the podcast and the Chiroplanner and the other resources that we've created. And we wouldn't have been able to do those things had we not focused on our daily big 3. So what is it? It's the most important things that you need to do today in order to succeed. So what are your highest priority items and not most pressing demands? Because if you are working only towards your demands, then you're reacting to others, you're reacting to things on your schedule, and you are not really actively pursuing your vision or your goals and working on your top priorities. And when you work on your highest priorities, that's what's really going to move the needle forward. So if you are looking to grow your practice, then you're going to focus on marketing and networking. If you have gotten kind of sloppy in practice and you're real busy, but you aren't staying on top of billing, then you're going to make that your top priority. You're going to spend days working on billing, EOBs, printing reports, that kind of thing. So whatever is a priority for you today, then you need to be working on those things. If you're looking for an associate position, then you need to be listening to our associate podcast that we've done and working on putting yourself out there, finding those jobs and pursuing those goals of finding your ideal job. When you have a daily big 3, it allows you to get your most important work done every day. And so you stop working on things that aren't important. And you can have other tasks, other to-do lists, like making a doctor's appointment or dropping off dry cleaning, that kind of thing. But the daily big 3 are the top priorities. And if they don't get done today, you're going to be really upset. So like for me today, recording this podcast was one of my daily big 3s. Another one is working on the workbook for our talk that we are going to be doing with Palmer, Florida. So those are things I really want to get done today, because the sooner I get them done, then that allows me free time to work on other things and to be there for my kids after school. The daily big 3 is actually something that we have included in the Chiroplanner since we wrote it 4 years ago. And so if you have bought a Chiroplanner, then take it out and start utilizing that if you haven't already. And if you are thinking about getting a Chiroplanner because you want to start your own practice, then it's definitely great. It's good for associates too, if you're starting into practice, to get clear on those things and to focus yourself on building your practice even within someone else's, or if you're starting your own. So if you have a Chiroplanner, look at it. If you haven't, look into getting one. It is a great resource for you for growing your practice and focusing on these priorities. By focusing on your daily big 3, it's really going to allow you to achieve more by doing less, because you are chasing your goals and not wandering around checking boxes. So if you're like me, you probably have to-do list all over the place and you're just checking boxes. Luckily, I only put boxes next to my daily big 3 so that I know that I need to check those boxes. And if I look at that list again and those items weren't done, then I know that that's probably a top priority for the next day. Also, having a daily big three gives you permission to say no. So if you need to be working on notes or be open on a Saturday, then you can say no to non-priority type things. And you have a good reason because you are trying to reach your goals and you have priorities, and focusing on those things now is what's important. And not that time with your family or relaxing and re-energizing isn't important, but if that's not your top priority, then you need to be working on what your top priority is. If relaxing and re-energizing and refocusing and spending time with your family is a priority, then it should be one of your daily big three. So you're going to have to decide which one's more important, what needs to get done first. And then the things that you find on your to-do list that you never find time to do, then you need to decide whether you're going to cancel that item because it's not something that's obviously a high priority, or you can maybe delegate it to somebody. So really focusing on what your top priorities are allows you to make those decisions. When you're in practice, this is really good for when you have downtime. A lot of times you have that downtime and you're not sure what to work on. But if you have a daily big three that you're working on, then you immediately go to that thing. So if a patient leaves, you finish their notes, and then you can go right into working on the marketing or the billing or EOBs or the schedule for next week, but you have a focus. And so instead of wasting that time maybe popping on Facebook or picking up your phone and scrolling through Instagram, you have a real focus and you don't even think about those other things because you know what needs to get done during that downtime. One of the things that I really like about this is that it allows me to batch to-dos. So let's say I want to work on, like I've talked about earlier, if I want to work on billing and reports, then I can sit down and really focus on those things and the numbers of the business. But if I really want to focus on marketing and networking, then I can spend a day on outreach, emailing, searching on social media for people to connect with, or I can spend a day running errands or paying bills. So I like to batch similar things into one day. So if I just have one bill to pay, maybe I'll wait until there's a few, and then that's one of my daily big three is paying bills. If it's just a task and it needs to get done sooner than when I have that, then I will get that done outside of my daily big three until it is a very high priority. So when I batch, then this really allows me to fully immerse myself in those things, and I find myself being more creative, more thoughtful, more intentional, and better able to use my thought processes for moving that needle forward in those areas. So I can really clean up a report. Let's say if I have a lot of balances on accounts, then I can go through and decide which ones are real, which ones need to be fixed, which ones are maybe affected by insurance that didn't go through properly. So I can really sit there and fix all of those things, make the phone calls that I need, and then if I get to a certain point, then I can move that project maybe to another day the next month, make some notes like this is where this left off, this is where this left off, this was entered, this was entered. So it really allows me to fully immerse myself and then also put those things on the calendar for the future, or I can fully complete a task because I am fully immersed and move that needle forward. So I hope this has helped you, and maybe you'll take this into account when you are planning out your days, the daily big three. There are three things that are really important about the daily big three. I've talked about a bunch, but one is that you cannot get everything on your list done. And so doing the daily big three really helps you prioritize that. It also forces you to focus on what matters. So what are the priorities? What are the goals that you're really working towards, and what really needs to get done on your list that will help you achieve those goals? And third, it's going to save you the heartache of working on things that probably really don't matter, and you're not just checking boxes, but you're truly working on those priorities. So I hope that helps. Set up your daily big three for today or tomorrow and see how that works for you and how you can kind of massage that into something that's going to help you achieve your goals and see that vision that you have for practice. Have an awesome day.
If you enjoyed this podcast episode, please share it with your friends on Instagram and Facebook. And for those of you who are already subscribers, we really appreciate it. Thanks for the reviews. We love reading those and knowing sign that you're loving the podcast. If you're looking for more tips and inspiration, be sure to check us out at lifestylepracticebuilders.com or join our business and marketing Facebook group for chiropractors at facebook.com/group/lifestylepractice.